Welcome to the On Purpose Leader podcast. I'm your host, Charles Clemens. So excited to have this conversation. Today, we're talking about leaving a lasting impact, legacy building. And so my guest today is going to share about how he's making an impact in his community, his place of work, the community in which he lives. Stay tuned. Keith Parker, welcome.
Thank you, Charles.
Glad you're here for the On Purpose Leader podcast. I've, over the years, had a chance to get to know you more and more. Excited about this conversation about legacy building, leaving a lasting impact. This is a conversation, and just for those who don't know you, and hopefully they'll get to know more about your story. Tell us, what your name and where you're from, a little bit about yourself. Take us back, if you will.
Okay, good. Thank you, Charles. My name is Keith Parker. I'm born and raised in Annapolis, Maryland. Came to Los Angeles in 1989. In Annapolis, as a young boy growing up, a small town. Annapolis is the capital of Maryland. I grew up in a little small area called Parole. And I didn't realize what the meaning of parole was until later in life. Parole stood for, in the Civil War, in the 1800s, they were called the parole camps, where they had to exchange their the soldiers who were captured and had a safe space for them to go, and that they can exchange them back to them forth to go back to the Unions and back to the Confederate to fight. And as a little boy, I would sit down on a pier and just have a vision about what it was I wanted to do with my life. And at that time in high school, I was reading Think and Grow Rich, As a Man Thinketh, just self-help books that allowed me to have a vision of what I wanted to do as a young man. And I ended up here in Los Angeles from the vision of wanting to do something different with my life. I'm the third son of 5 boys from Ella and Thomas Parker. I have one son named Kendall, who's 22 years old, in college right now, and 4 other brothers that I love and cherish very much so, that we have a great working relationship with. Annapolis was the roots and the foundation of who I am as a person. And coming into Los Angeles gave me an opportunity to really just expand on what I knew and what I wanted to do as an adult as I got older.
Wow. Keith, thanks for sharing. And very fascinating to hear about your upbringing in Parole, Maryland. And when I hear the word parole, I automatically think, something related to being in trouble with the law or getting off on parole. But then hearing that legacy related to, the Civil War and so forth. But walk us back to, what were some of the challenges you faced growing up there? How'd you overcome them? What was it like? What was young Keith like? And then connect the dots between there and L.A., because, of course, L.A. is a very different bird, compared to, say, back east and Parole. So walk us through that.
So growing up in Parole, a small town, there's one elementary school, middle school, then there was a high school that we all trickled into. My brothers kind of led the foundation, the Parker boys. We had a very wealthy legacy in terms of being responsible and accountable young men in the community. And I understood the impact of having a father in your life versus not having a father in your life. So we grew up with a dad in our household, living in the household, being raised by our dads, having fundamentals and principles that we all grew up on. And then realizing that a lot of my friends that did not have fathers in their life, I could tell the difference.
You saw it.
I saw the difference, not having a father in their life. So my dad was firm and real strict, but we came to appreciate that later in life, because I can go back home to the day and still see some of my friends hang out in the same particular area, doing the same thing they did when we was growing up, living the same lifestyle. And me and my brothers have gone on to college. My dad didn't have a high school. He didn't even graduate from high school, but he had these understandings about how important it was for us as young men to get an education, be responsible, and be accountable for who we were in that community. We were well known, played football and baseball, basketball as well. Not as good as basketball as it was football and baseball, but those led to some of the discipline that allowed me to be able to do the things I'm doing. And wanting to come to Los Angeles was an opportunity to take a look at the foundation that my parents had set for me. And be able to bring those principles out to Los Angeles and just take a look.
Wow.
I wanted to do something different in Los Angeles and Annapolis. You have those 4 seasons.
Oh,
Growing up, got the 4 seasons: the winter, the fall, the spring, and summer. You still have those seasons, but the changing of the weather is different from being on the East Coast versus to the West Coast.
Well, when you say that, that took me back because probably remember having to
Shovel
dig out,
snow.
shovel out
Yes.
that snow, shovel
Yes.
leaves,
Yes.
all that.
Yes.
It's exciting to hear that your father and your mother gave a foundation for you. You mentioned the strictness of your dad. Those of you who may see the podcast, I know we have pictures, and we're going to talk about the Fatherhood initiative that you lead in LA. And you said something, just circling back, you saw the difference when, and really the first leader we interact with in many cases is our father, and our mother, but the absence of a father.
Yes.
Speak to that a little bit. Like you saw the difference in respect to single moms who are raising their sons on their own. But for somebody who's trying to develop either as a father or maybe he's come from a home where there was no dad and like just trying to figure it out because dad wasn't there, or maybe dad had to work 2, 3 jobs so he couldn't be there because he put food on the tables. Can you share a little bit about your perspective of that, or even what you might say to that person?
I think having a dad around, he modeled the behavior, right? So he got up and went to work every day.
Yeah.
There
you go.
brought the groceries. My dad brought the groceries. My mom made the meals. My dad purchased a house, but my mom made it a home.
Yeah.
Right.
Wow.
So those led to me not getting what I want as a failure, but an opportunity to try something different.
Wow.
When I went to college, man, I went to 3 different universities before I got my degree. And I think that's based on me understanding that life is going to be challenging at times.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah.
You got to get up.
That's
Every
right.
time you get knocked down, you just got to get back up.
That's
You
right.
just got to have a plan of attack to be able to move forward. So those are some of the things I learned from my dad, man. Not having a college degree, living up in a time where he was being challenged as a man. Right?
Wow.
And then having to come home to deal with 5 knucklehead boys.
Yeah. Yeah.
And we breaking stuff at the house. He's not making a whole lot of money, so it becomes challenging that way. But he still had the love and the support for us to make sure that we understood what we needed to do. Keep the main thing, and be able to stay focused.
That's wonderful.
Yes, sir.
Hearing that bedrock of a man and your father. And as you mentioned, the humble circumstance, your father and my dad was born 1928, so I'm guessing similar frame. And you're hearing people in that day, and sadly even today, speaking out of ways that are disrespectful, not acknowledging the man that the man is. And, there's a whole discussion there on civil rights, but yet you saw the father. I saw a father there as well. And jumping ahead, you lead a fatherhood initiative in LA. You work with many fathers. And we're going to jump ahead a little bit. The stigma has been that fathers aren't there, or in particular, that Black fathers aren't there. Could you speak to the truth of that, that we actually are there? We're engaged. Because we get some bad press.
We're getting a lot of bad press. Research shows that Black fathers are in the lives of their kids more than any other ethnic groups
That's
in the
right.
world.
I think CDC put that report.
CDP, right?
Yeah.
So what happened was, back in the 70s, in the early 60s, the household was 2-parent households. Fathers were in the household.
That's right.
Right? And then the federal government, to assist the families, right?
That's right.
Decided that we can give you guys some money, moms.
But we want dad to be out of here.
Dad has to be out of the picture.
That's right.
So if dad's out of the picture, we can give you what you need to take care of your kids.
Oh, boy.
Right? So what did that do for the family and for men in general?
Undermined.
It undermined everything that we as men to be responsible, providers, right? Protectors,
present at home.
Oh, yeah. Taken out of the household, right? So I think what the government attempted to do has failed miserably.
Indeed. Let's put it nicely.
But fathers have always been in the picture. Fathers are always in the picture.
Yeah.
Sometimes with fathers not in the picture, it allows for moms to have access to some different resources,
Hmm.
right? So when you go to school or these different aids that families receive, as long as dad income is not on the paper, mom can get what she needs. But guess what? Dad is still in the background.
Yeah. Yeah.
He's still around.
Mm-hmm.
He's still doing the work, but
Mm-hmm.
he's not accounted for. So we become invisible.
Wow. Wow. And yeah, now that's a conversation right there.
Invisible,
I'm
right?
invisible.
Right. So
Or unnecessary. Or
unnecessary.
considered
Right?
unnecessary.
So now the federal government becomes the dads. So moms are now starting to say, "Well, I don't really need
them.
a man in my life."
Yeah. But the kids do.
The kids need it because there's different things that fathers bring to the table that moms don't bring to the table.
That's right. That's right.
And kids need both.
Kids need both.
Right.
Yeah.
It's like the sun and the moon. Moms, I consider moms as the sun because they're in the front, they're bright and shine bright, and everybody sees the sun.
That's right.
But the moon is just as powerful in the background.
It affects gravity.
It affects everything.
Everything. That's right. Yeah.
That you don't take account for.
You need both.
Do away with the moon, this earth will die. Everything around it will die. The oceans will change. Right? So, and that's how kids need those moms and those dads.
Yeah.
Because we bring something different to the table.
Oh, yeah.
Right?
Wow.
Which is so powerful for our kids, not only just for our sons, for our daughters.
Yes.
The work I do in the community, I can tell when women did not have a father in their life.
Wow. Talk.
Yeah.
For the audience listening, we're going to dive in, and I'm so excited to have this conversation.
Yeah.
Brother Keith leads the Fatherhood Initiative in LA, and if you would describe the program, the scope of it, the numbers of it. You just talk as you feel so led and are comfortable. I'm very passionate about this, and I'm excited that you're sharing this. But then also, when you see the marks of the absence of a father, as you were about to allude to with our sisters, what that looks like. So feel free to share, my brother.
I've been doing work in the community for over 20 plus years, and I first started out my degree from Bowie State University is in business administration. So I worked in finance and accounting for a number of years before I started doing nonprofit work. But service has always led me. My mom in my community was the house where all the kids would come by, stop by, get candy before school and after school, get a meal when they needed one. So I watched my mom lead by example. And my dad was always the one who worked in the community, cooked the fish fries and fried fish for everybody. It was just a servant in the community. And it really taught me how to serve the community, right? Because when you go into a community, it's not about what you can get from the community. I tell folks all the time, man, it's about bringing love and not looking for love, but being the love.
Being love.
Bring the love that you want into the community.
Yes.
Because I learned there's a culture already there before you come into a community.
Yeah.
So what happens is you take your college education, you think you know it all.
Nope.
And you end up offending people without knowing that you offended them because you're talking more than listening. So I've learned from a grandmother in the community that when you come into a community, son, just listen more than you talk.
That's good. That's good.
Just become a fly on the wall just to see how we move in the community. And then bring what you have to the community and to create that space. So as a member of Omega Psi Phi fraternity,
indeed,
Barack Obama, our president at the time, put out a clarion call for the Fatherhood Initiative. And our national office led where we wanted to make sure all the chapters would have a fatherhood and mentoring initiative. So I started out as the fatherhood chair for our chapter, and it has grown to doing the work that I now do in the community. So I was very good in the community of working when I first started with mothers and children, but I knew the missing component was dads. Right? Yeah. And I said to God, if you ever give me an opportunity to just work with men, I will take it and I will be your soldier, your foot soldier in the community. So I started out doing some bookkeeping for some nonprofit organizations. An opportunity came out for me to do some work with fathers, and I jumped all over it. So I went through a training to understand what fathers needed. And I really began to grasp that. And I said, that's going to be my legacy in terms of the work that I do. How do we change the trajectory of our fathers and make sure they have all the tools and resources that they need to
Mm.
become the best possible parent they can become. A lot of times dads just don't know. They want to be involved,
Yeah.
but if they don't have the tools and resources that are needed, it becomes a hindrance.
Mm.
What I learned a lot of times for men, when we're in relationship, we bring one tool that we
Mm.
have in our tool bag. And a lot of times it's a hammer.
That's
So
it.
we just pound and
Yeah.
pound and
That's
pound
right.
and pound,
Mhm.
and try to make it fit.
Mm.
But I've learned with the proper knowledge and increased awareness and increases the tools and the father's tool belt.
Mm.
So now that he's looking at discipline
Mhm.
versus punishment,
Ah, big
right?
difference.
There's a big
Big
difference, right? So
difference. Yeah.
you're learning
Yeah.
and teaching a lesson.
Mhm.
You're breaking cycles, right?
Mm.
So
Yeah.
now that you feel more comfortable about being able to engage with
Mm.
our young folks and your children,
Mm.
as well as a dad. So Project Fatherhood was
Mhm.
founded in 1996 by Dr. Herschel Swinger at Children's Institute. He understood the importance of having fathers involved in the lives of their kids.
Mm.
What was challenging because the court system was really not father friendly at all,
Mm.
right? So
Yeah.
dads were going to courts and not having access to their kids and having to pay these exorbitant amounts of fees
Mm.
to have access to their
Yeah.
kids. So what we did was, how do we prepare our dads? How
Mm.
do we make sure they have the tools when they go to the courts? Talk about some of the things that they're learning, right? To be able to share with the judge and let the judge know, hey, I want to be involved in my kid's life.
Ah,
I have just as much right as my son and my daughter
that's right.
as my wife or my girlfriend does.
And they need both.
They need both.
That's
So
right.
what do we need to do?
Yeah.
Well, the judge said, well, go to Project Fatherhood. They're
Mm.
doing some great things over there, innovative things,
Wow.
taking you through different classes. So we run a program that provides 12 different topics,
Mhm.
um, 2 hours a week
Mhm.
to have conversations about different things, what it means to be a man,
Mhm.
family history,
Mhm.
what I learned from those different topics. Dads have so many layers
Yeah. Yeah.
that
Yeah.
they're going through that they wear in
Yeah.
these Superman capes,
Mm.
but they never get an opportunity to be who they are,
Wow. So
right?
all covered.
All
Yeah.
covered, right?
Pushed down.
Pushed down. So the first
Yeah.
topic of family history is what I love, because what it does is, I'm going to share a story. It takes
Yeah.
this building, and on the 42nd floor. There's a crack. So the
Mm.
property manager realizes that crack continues to get bigger and bigger on the 42nd floor. So
Mm.
he decided that he was going to call the engineer to
Mm.
come and take a look at that crack on the 42nd floor. So he told the security guard, when the engineer gets here, let me know so I can meet him on the 42nd floor.
Mm.
So the engineer arrived 2 days later, and he came, and the security guard called the property manager and said, engineer's here. So
Mm.
the property manager was great. So he went
Wow.
to the 42nd floor to meet the engineer.
Wow.
So when he got to the 42nd floor, he looked around. He didn't see the engineer. So he said to
Wow.
the security guard, where's the engineer? They said, no, the engineer went down to the basement. So the
Oh.
property manager like, why did the engineer go down to the basement? So he goes down these
Oh.
42nd floors,
Mm.
down to the basement to talk to the engineer.
Mm.
And he tells the engineer, he said, the crack is on the 42nd floor. Why are you down here in the basement?
Wow.
The engineer said, yeah, your crack is on the 42nd floor, but your problem is down here in your
In the
basement,
basement.
down in your
Yeah.
foundation, right?
Yeah.
There's some things that are going on in men's life that have never been addressed,
Mm. Yeah. That's a moment right there
right?
on the
On
foundational
the
level.
foundational level.
Yeah.
So until you can pull back some of those layers and
Mhm.
create a safe space for men to be able to have those conversations,
Mhm.
you're going to continue to have these problems in our community,
Ah.
how we interact with each other.
Yeah. Oh wow. But Keith, you just touched on something right there. And there's so much hearing your story. You were blessed with a strong foundation. And y'all overcame a great deal. You saw the example of mom and father. And then, of course, through trial and error of life, you've overcome challenges, and then all the way to LA. And you're working with families with the Fatherhood Initiative and with the Children's Institute, and that's in LA. Um, but then this thing, that example you gave of that building, and I think you said your grandmother said, just go listen to people, listen to where they're at,
Yeah.
because it takes, talk to us about what it takes to really listen, because many people won't open up about foundation.
Yeah.
Like many, I wish there was a Keith in my life, or
Yeah.
or this person, that person, but for some, they would rather hold it together,
Mhm.
or even men, it's scary to be vulnerable because you might be considered soft or whatever. So talk to us a little what it takes to be somebody who can be entrusted as a leader to deal with foundational things.
Yeah.
What do you think?
Yeah, as a leader, you have to take off your hat.
There you
Right?
go.
You have to be vulnerable yourself.
Yeah.
You have to model the behavior.
Here's
right.
where I'm
Here's
hurting.
where I am.
Here's where I'm
Right.
hurting.
I'm
Right here.
I'm a dad.
Mm-hmm.
I grew up with my dad and my mom in the household, but I'm
Yeah.
also divorced. I've
That's right.
had my challenges.
You've been through some
I've
things.
been through some things.
Oh yeah, yes
right?
indeed.
So you look at Mr. Parker, you think I got it all together.
Man.
I don't.
But me either. That's
together,
right.
man.
And that's all right.
I had my challenges as well, man.
Yeah.
I had my ups and I had my downs as well. But I've learned to be able to create a space.
Yeah, that's right.
For men to be able to begin to have those conversations
Mm-hmm.
where they can walk away still feeling like a man,
Mm-hmm.
but talking about the hurt.
Yeah, that's right.
And the pain.
This is what I was like.
That they're going through.
Yeah.
They've gone through. And no one has taken the time to listen to what I had to say. I've learned that it's just not men, but people. They just want to be understood. Not agreed with, not necessarily agreed with.
But understood.
But understood.
Yeah, yeah.
Just understood. I need to be heard.
Be heard. This is where I'm coming from. This is where I'm coming from. Agree or disagree.
Yeah. No, I don't need you to tell me how I need to do this, do that. No, this is what it is.
That's right.
I've been able to accept the place, and I tell folks all the time, you have to, what you don't know, you don't know. Start where you are.
Start where you are. Yeah.
And then you begin to build from that. And you surround yourself with people who can support that. Here's one thing I learned the women do an outstanding job with. When women are hurting, they'll get on the phone. They'll call their girlfriends. She'll bring a bottle of wine on. Oh, yeah. 5 of her girlfriends will come over. They'll talk about it. Right?
That's right.
And what do? We ain't calling nobody. Nope. We're going to go down in the dungeon and just die.
By ourselves.
By ourselves.
That's right.
And the research shows that's why women live longer than men.
They do. They're great.
Because they take some of that pressure off themselves.
Yeah.
That's why hypertension is so bad in our community. High blood pressure.
Heart attacks. Oh, yeah. Strokes. All that.
Strokes. Because we carry so much.
Holding
in. And then we explode on the ones that we love.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. That's right. Explode or implode. Either one.
Yes, either one. On the ones that we love and on ourselves and in our community. Yeah. So I think what we've learned, what Dr. Swinger said, if you create a space that's safe, secure, and consistent for men and give them an opportunity to talk. Take off that Superman.
Take off the Superman cape. We're not from Krypton.
No, man.
Nope.
No, man.
No.
Yeah, I hurt just like you hurt. Man.
Same here.
Yeah.
A friend of mine said when you see the Superman movies, he'll stand there and they'll be shooting the pistol at him, the guns at him, but then when they throw the gun, he'll actually duck. Just my little crazy sense of humor that we're all human.
Yeah, we're all human. And we got to learn to teach men how to love Clark Kent.
That's right, the real.
It's okay. That's
who I
am. This is who I am.
This is who we are.
Flaws,
brother.
This is who I am.
And that's a good feeling. For the listener, On Purpose Leader podcast really designed. We're trying to call out to folks to have an impact in whatever sphere of influence you have, to live life on purpose with a sense of calling. And what you're hearing and what I'm enjoying with Keith is a clear sense of purpose with his work in community, in his work with nonprofits, his work with fatherhood and mentoring. There's some photos that the producer will put up. And Keith, if you want to share a little bit, I saw some of the pictures with fathers that are changing diapers.
Yes.
And you're showing them how to do. Can you talk a little bit about some of the photos you sent? We see some photos with LA Chargers. Not Jordan Downs, but a couple of different Imperial Gardens. Feel free to elaborate what you like.
So each month, what we do what is called fatherhood enrichment activities. So as fathers are going through the class and they're learning different skills, we want to give them an opportunity to practice these skills with their children, right? And we pay for everything. So each month we do an activity.
Nice.
So we have a lot of new dads that we're working with. So we did a baby food making class where we
Wow.
brought baby food processors,
Baby food making
baby food making class
with the dads.
with the dads,
Making
right?
wow, that's something.
Making their own food, right?
Wow, check that out.
Learning how to do the nutrition, going to the store and shopping for fruits and vegetables,
Wow.
so you know what you're putting in the food.
Wow.
So including this processed food that we're giving our kids all the time, right? It's
Wow.
giving dads a different exposure, because I believe three things: exposure, experience, and expectation
Yes.
is everything.
Yes, absolutely.
Right. So how do you provide that for our dads? Right. So we did an infant massage class.
Wow.
So we taught dads through a training how to soothe and
Their
calm
baby.
their babies,
That's amazing.
to give mom a break.
Yeah. Wow.
What you can do, different pressure points for a baby. What do
Wow.
you do as a dad? How do you hold and caress your child?
So I imagine for a new father or mother or parent,
Oh, yeah.
just to be able to have that empowerment, how to massage, take, because as you know, crying baby at 2, 3 in the morning, you know, and you don't know what to do, that's some kind of stress. But wow, nutritious, homemade baby food,
yes,
and
sir.
then be able to do a baby massage. Please share further. This is
Because
amazing.
what you're learning how to, as a parent as well, you're learning how to regulate yourself. Because a lot of times what happens is stress comes from us being unable to regulate ourselves.
We don't know what to do.
Don't know what to do.
Yeah.
Right? So we teach dads how to regulate yourself.
How to
Sometimes just breathing exercises.
Yeah. To
right?
calm yourself down.
Calm yourself down.
Yeah.
Then you can help your son or your daughter to
Wow.
be able to calm themselves down. Right? Because what happens is there's a thing called secure attachment, right? So as a child growing up, when they feel attached, their development is a lot different. Because they're so comfortable now knowing that mom and dad
are there.
close by.
They can relax.
They can relax.
Yeah.
I can explore a little bit more because I know mom and dad are right there.
That'll affect their development, how they pursue.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
You can tell. You can tell when kids who have challenges with a secure attachment when parents leave. And we talk about the different developmental stages that kids will go through. And we talk to them about dads. And as a part of the curriculum, there's a section in the appendix where it talks about the social development, the physical development, right, and the emotional side of children that they will go through from birth to an adulthood.
Yeah.
And what you can do as a parent,
Yeah.
and particularly as a father, be involved in those different stages of development. So dads' lights light up.
Yeah.
Yeah, they light up knowing that what they're doing is really impacting and helping their children develop.
For life.
For life.
For
and
life.
being intentional
Yes.
about that connection. So that's why we do these different activities, because we want dads to be intentional with their activities. So we do in February, we do a father-daughter tea. Right?
Oh, there's a photo of
There's a photo of a father-daughter tea.
Father-daughter tea.
Where the daughters have dad's undivided attention for a few hours.
Yeah.
So dads understand you are the first boyfriend to your daughter.
Yeah. That'll give
You have an opportunity to set a standard.
Yeah.
So she knows what to look for.
That's right.
Right?
In a man.
In a man.
In a man. He's a gentleman.
Yes.
He's kind.
Because what happens is women end up dating the
Mm.
men like their dads.
Like their dads. Oh boy. And that
You
could
can
be good or bad.
It's good or bad, right? You can see it all the time.
You see the pattern.
You see the pattern.
Wow.
Right?
Wow.
So we help dads to understand that you have a responsibility.
Yes.
The most important thing that you do as a man, as a father, is to be present.
Yes. Oh yeah. Be there.
Be there.
That's right.
I know work is important. I know this is that important, but you can find time to go to the Lakers parade.
That's right. We're going to find time to be with
can
our
find
kids.
time to be with your kids. And
That's
it has
right.
to be something. Kids don't want a whole lot of money. They just want some time.
Time and attention.
Just time and attention.
Oh, yeah.
You get amazed.
You know, just sharing that earlier, we were at Castaic Lake with my boy and just in the water and throwing them and just, just as you share, just a little bit of time means a whole lot, you know, swimming, splashing around. And, you know, it wasn't some big thing, but it was a big thing for him. Yeah.
It's not about the quantity of the time, it's the quality.
Quality.
Of the time.
Oh,
right?
yeah.
And being intentional
Yes, sir.
right? And I tell dads all the time, just listen.
Mm, that's
Just
good.
no, you don't have to say anything. Just listen. You've
Look,
done a good job.
mm,
Allow them to make some mistakes because they're
yeah,
going to make some mistakes,
yeah, they are. Oh, yeah. Yes,
right?
indeed.
Let them make those
Let
mistakes,
them make them.
but be there for them.
That's
Have a conversation with them because what happens is when they feel like they can't come to you, they're gonna go to somebody else,
mm,
and you won't really know what's going on with them
mm,
till it's too late.
that's oh boy. Now that's a conversation right there. Ooh,
Yeah,
some hard lessons
yeah.
learned on
Hard
that.
lessons learned,
My
man.
goodness.
You know.
I, question
Yeah.
is we're walking down this conversation about really fatherhood, and there's definitely legacy all embedded
Yeah.
in
Yeah.
that.
Yeah.
You made mention about how what you're doing now with the men, the fathers you're working with, helping them develop secure attachments with their children. For those who may be listening in, may or may not be familiar with the idea of attachments,
Hmm.
that there's sometimes, if you're in a healthy home, is secure. But if, and maybe you could elaborate, but let's
Yeah.
say the parent is not there emotionally, is kind of dismissive, then the
Hmm.
child may grow up
Yeah.
kind of
Yeah.
aloof from others. And then there's some who are anxious. Could
Mhm.
you give like a really high overview of this thing of attachment
Yeah.
and how you're trying to help the men heal?
Yeah.
Because maybe they came from
Hmm.
a home that
Hmm.
wasn't secure and that's affecting how they parent. So
Yeah.
could you
Yeah.
describe that a little bit?
Yeah. Yeah. I think what happens is when a kid is feeling comfortable and attached to their parents, their level of confidence
Mm,
and their ability to explore
mm,
life exceeds their growth and development.
wow.
And for those kids who are not attached,
Yeah.
detached, their development is stunted
Yeah.
because they don't feel comfortable
No,
about moving around,
yeah.
trying new
The
things.
world's a scary
The world
place.
is a scary place.
Yeah.
I'm not going to do that.
Mm,
So you end up with having a lot of behavioral problems
wow.
out of our kids.
So they show up at school.
It shows up in school.
Wow.
It shows up in relationships.
Yeah.
It
Yeah.
shows up in your community,
Yeah.
right? Because you're now covering up what
Mm,
you didn't have,
what you didn't get.
right? Right.
So,
So
wow.
development of the brain works from the back to the front.
Yeah.
So this lower part of your brain is where the first thing that happens goes here. So
Mm,
you now it's fight or flight.
there you go. That
What state
reaction.
am I in right now?
Yeah.
What's going on around
Hmm.
me?
Hmm.
Am I safe? No,
Am I
I'm not
safe? Am
safe.
I not safe?
Right? It doesn't
Wow.
even get to the front part where you can
Wow.
rationalize
Yeah.
until that safety part is
Hmm.
secure. Right?
Wow.
So as we develop and the
Mm,
kids feel more comfortable,
yeah.
they know, hey, I'm in a safe environment.
Yeah.
I know
So I can,
dad's right around. I know
hmm
grandma's
I
here.
could explore.
I
I
can
could try
explore.
things,
Yep, I can.
music, art,
Yes,
what,
yes, yes,
you know, I can
yes,
fail and
yes,
still get
yes. It'll
up.
be okay.
Yeah.
Right? I can
Wow.
go to school,
Hmm.
right, and fail and try again.
Try again. Try
I
different.
told you I went to 3 different
That's right.
universities
That's right.
before I graduated and
Wow.
got my
And
degree.
you got it. Yeah.
Right? Because I still had loving parents who
Wow.
supported me.
Wow. So I'm so glad that as you share that story, and I'm imagining your mother and father and how you said something. Well, my father worked hard and provided for a house, but your mom made the home,
Yes.
and I heard partnership.
Yes.
And during difficult
Yes.
times,
Yes.
because
Yes.
I'm assuming '60s and stuff, it was
Mm-hmm.
tough in certain
Yeah.
parts, '70s as
Absolutely.
well.
Yeah. Yeah.
But yet they produced some solid foundations in you. So much so, as you mentioned, your struggles in college, you're still able to succeed. Did nonprofit work, doing nonprofit work,
Mm-hmm.
and in LA.
And,
LA. Some folks who are watching this are West Coast, East Coast. Talk a little bit because what I'm hearing is these are fathers, mothers, community people who are actively wanting a better life, actively wanting a better life for their kids,
mhm.
actively not just wanting it but doing it,
Yeah.
not just talking about but being about it, and going to the trainings, trying new things as a parent. So I'm hearing success.
Yeah.
What we often don't hear sometimes in the news as it relates to LA or the city is that we often hear it's crime, it's gangs, it's
Mm-hmm.
violence,
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. Yeah.
run for your life,
Right.
that kind of thing.
Yeah.
That's not to say we don't have troubles in the city or the suburbs, but can you talk a little bit about just the truth of what's happening? That this isn't like some flash in the pan kind of social experiment, but the depth of the work that you're doing. If
Yeah.
you don't mind me saying that,
Absolutely.
because some people have the maybe misunderstanding that there's good work going on in the community. So if you could speak to that.
Yeah, so there's a lot of great work
Yeah.
going on in the community. Crime is down
Wow.
in communities. What we've learned in our relationship over time, um, violence prevention requires members from those communities to be involved
They're actively involved.
in
Yeah.
the process.
Yeah.
LAPD can't lock up everybody. We don't have a good relationship with
Yeah.
LAPD in a lot of our
Yeah.
communities,
Yeah.
but there are OGs in these communities
Right.
that young folks listen to.
They listen to and respect.
Right? So
Yeah.
how do you provide them with some of the tools and resources and awareness and the knowledge to be able to go out there and talk to young guys
Yeah.
about, hey man, what's going on, man? Look,
That's right.
Mr. Parker's got this youth development program going on over here, man.
Yeah.
We got some employment stuff going on. Next week he's going to do
That's right.
security guard training.
That's right.
Jump in the class, man.
OGs have love for those youngsters,
Yes,
and they want them a better life. They
Everything.
nothing but love for them.
It's all love, man.
Oh, yeah.
But sometimes things just get in the way. Right? Life happens.
Life happens.
Life happens, man. And some of the OGs who spend 10 and 20 years in prison come home now who may not be as connected, but they want to get involved. They want to get back involved. And my job is to help them and provide them with the tools and the resources because they have their direct connect.
Yes.
I can't reach some of those dudes at 3 o'clock in the morning,
but they can.
OG can reach those dudes in the street at 3 or 4 o'clock in the morning and send them over to Uncle Keith.
Good.
During
That's
the
good.
daytime.
There you go.
And so we're working together because everybody's connected to somebody.
That's right.
I tell young folks all the time, I'm going to call your grandma.
That's right. Now that's the real OG.
I'm going to call your grandma.
Call your grandma.
No, Mr. Parker, don't do that. Yeah, I'm going to call your grandma. You ain't been in class in 2 weeks. What's going on?
Grandma needs to know.
Grandma needs to know.
Oh, yeah. That's good.
Yeah. So it's about how you connect those dots, man. Give people an opportunity, man. And meet people where they are.
Meet them where they are.
You got to meet people where they are, man. We can't keep thinking that
talking down to folks.
We have all the answers to everything because you don't know what that person is going through, man.
There you go.
You have no idea what his life has been like.
That's right. What they've been through.
What they've been through.
And are going through.
And it's not about, and I tell folks, I'm reading this book called What Happened to You. So it's not about why you
why are you like this? Yeah.
What happened
What happened to you? What happened?
Right? So it's all about, a lot of times it's about that development stages.
Yeah.
We talked about that, the secure attachment growing up.
What happened?
What happened? Something disconnected you. So now what you do, you blocked out everything that allows you to be able to move forward. You want to know why a young man can't keep a job. Something has blocked him. Something's happening. Something has happened.
Oh, yeah.
So when you open up a space for them to be able to explore what may have happened and then give them the training and the tools that they need to be able to, you'll never forget about it, but be able to give them the tools to cope.
Yes, that's right. Wow.
And build some knowledge around that. So now that we're breaking the cycle, so you're not passing this down to your kids.
To the next generation.
The next generation, right? So that's what a legacy is about. How do we break the cycle, man?
Yes.
So the fathers are not starting behind the 8 ball.
That's right.
Right?
Yeah.
Starting all over again, man. You know, and giving them the tools so now they can pass down to their kids, who will pass down to their kids, where violence will become not even something that we'll use in the future.
Yeah, that's right.
Right? Because we've learned how to be able to discipline our kids. Kids have learned how to take the tools that they need to be able to get what they need.
That's right.
Right? So,
manage their emotions.
Manage their emotions.
Their feelings.
It's about how do you regulate yourself once again.
Wow.
Right? And I do breathing exercises with my dads, and we do meditations. I do a lot of meditating with our fathers because you have to be able to, anxiety is about worrying about something that hasn't even happened yet. Thinking about what's going to happen tomorrow, today. Depression is about worrying about what already happened in the past.
Yeah.
So when do you get an opportunity to live right here in the present?
Right in that moment.
Right in this moment.
Yeah.
Right?
That's right.
You got to be able to get yourself to this point where you are calmed yourself to get back to the current present,
Wow.
right? And those are
That's
some tools that
powerful.
we can share with the community, but we
Hmm.
want to be consistent with it, and we want to be able to model the behavior with our families as well, and
Wow.
teach our kids.
With the podcast, we want to make sure we put links to
Yeah.
the Fatherhood Initiative.
Mm-hmm.
And if you're seeing the pictures there for the viewer, it's inspiring because this is real, lasting impact. A lot of life lessons. I'm hearing the importance of listening. I'm hearing the importance of humility, the importance of meeting people where they're at, the importance of kind of learning as you go, and the importance of being aware of how our foundations were and being willing to go back and repair,
Yeah.
because
Yeah.
that's what
Yeah.
I'm hearing, the
Yeah.
repair
Yeah.
work.
Yeah.
Maybe I didn't come from a secure home,
Yeah.
and I was parenting my parent,
Yes, sir.
and
Yeah.
so now
Yeah.
that's affecting how I
Yeah.
relate to people today.
Yeah.
But what I'm hearing, like the example engineer, go where the foundation is broken,
Yes, sir.
and we're going to do the work down there.
Yes, sir. You got to go back to the
Go
foundation.
back to the foundation.
You got to go back there and meet that ugly bear.
That'd be
You got to go back there and meet that thing, man, and
Yeah.
take a look at not what you did wrong, but what you can do to overcome it.
Yeah.
Right.
Wow.
Accept it, acknowledge it. Don't run from it.
Don't run from it. Yeah.
Right. That's
Boy.
because it's a part of who you are.
That's part of what. Yeah. That's part of who I am.
It is what it is.
It is, like Aretha Franklin said, it is what it is.
It is, right?
Yes, sir.
So a lot of the great work that we're doing with Project Father, we did some work with the LA Rams,
Okay.
the LA Rams Foundation around
Mhm.
men's mental health.
Wow.
Right. So we're going to be starting a new conversation, a fireside chat. We'll be having the first Friday of every month. We'll create a space for men to have these conversations about mental health as a state of well-being.
Wow.
Not saying that things don't happen to you, because they will.
Yeah.
But what can you do to make sure that you can work through those things and still be able to function where you're not self-medicating yourself because you don't know what to do?
Yeah. Wow. That's amazing. And that's another discussion there. Yeah, the right kind of healing that builds up that foundation versus further tearing it down. Our conversation, we've had a really broad scope of things we've talked about. Now, I know that you're also an entrepreneur in addition to your nonprofit work, and share a bit about that great soul food delicacy that you make.
Yes, I'll share. Yeah, so in our culture, in our community, a lot of times what happens is when grandma passes away, all of the traditions and the food and the dishes and the stories, sometimes they're gone.
Go with grandma.
They go with grandma, right?
Big mom.
So I wanted an opportunity to start something with my son, right? So what we did, we started Parker House of Lights, which is my last name, our last name, Parker. And all the different desserts that I grew up with.
Okay.
And especially banana pudding.
Banana pudding.
So banana pudding is our thing. We make 8 different toppings. So what happens is my son and I, after COVID, and I wanted to do something with him because I know he was getting older. I know as kids get older, man, they kind of begin to flee away from the nest. Yeah. And you having access to them becomes limited. So what I wanted to do is show him about entrepreneurship. Yeah, so we created Parker House of Lights, right?
Nice.
And how we made it unique, we came up with our own different toppings.
Nice.
So the foundation is grandma's, right? But the toppings are ours.
There you go.
Right? So
added building on it.
We're building on that foundation, right?
Yeah.
So, and we're doing well, man. We've done some stuff for the Oscars. We've done stuff for the NFL.
Wow.
We've done a lot of things with the banana pudding business. And people say, "Are you going to expand?" We are expanding within the niche that we've identified that works best for us.
There you go.
Right?
Yeah.
So, and it's just great. Folks are calling for it all the time. And we're creating this legacy where we continue to have other families create some opportunities with your kids.
There you go.
Take something that you're already doing and build on it.
There you go.
Right? You don't have to start to create the wheel.
Yeah.
No, you got enough history in your family.
Start where you are.
Start where you are.
Start where you are.
And just build and add on top of that, man. Right?
Well, you're saying that. I'm thinking about grandma's sweet potato pies. Those candy yams, all that good stuff. But this is a rich, soulful conversation, just the idea that we've been entrusted with so much and we're blessed in our family and our culture and our people. And then also this larger conversation of healing, of repairing of foundations as who we are as fathers, really as leaders, and having that lasting impact. So kudos to you and your son
Thank you. Yeah.
to have an entrepreneurial space and having that bread pudding. There's a photo of that we'll put up there, and we'll do our best to have all the links. Keith, any closing thoughts? You shared so much on legacy, lasting impact, your work in the community, your work with men, and your work also as a father and as a member of Omega Psi Phi, as a fellow member.
Yes.
I'm proud to call you a friend and brother, and you're an amazing man. Any final thoughts on this thing of legacy and leaving a lasting impact?
Yeah. You are your ancestors' prayers. You are the answers we have been looking for. So you see, turn within. The oak tree is within inside of the acorn. That beautiful butterfly is wrapped up in the cocoon. The struggle in the cocoon builds the strength for the wings for that beautiful butterfly to soar. Get up. I know you've been hit in the mouth. Get up. I know bills are due. Get up. I know times are tough. Turn within. The answer is already inside of you. Just get up.
Wow. If you have been listening into this conversation, leaving a legacy, lasting impact, then you certainly have to have been moved by what was shared by Keith Parker. But Keith, thank you for being here. Thank you for your inspirational words to us, your true words to us, solid words. And as a final thought for the On Purpose podcast, it is a privilege to have this conversation because we're hearing a life that's being lived on purpose. And as you've heard about Keith's foundations, you who are listening, there's things unique to you, your design, the things that you do well that only you can do. And when we discover the very thing that is our gift and purpose, we can shine, we can be a blessing, even as we've been blessed. And so thank you for tuning in for the On Purpose Leader podcast. Wherever you are, seek to leave a lasting legacy for the good. So do that on purpose.